Hi guys, there's been just a groundswell of support for me to do a garden video here this year. Well, one guy anyway, but he was very adamant about it, so I think the ground must undoubtedly be swelling wherever he's at. So yeah, let's get started. Here is last year's garden location. As you can see, there's not a whole lot going on where I planted it last year. Planted absolutely nothing in this location, except here's last year's compost pile, and with a Carly cat. Hello, Carly cat. What you doing? Huh? Anyway, there's potatoes growing on it, so I decided I'd just let those potatoes go ahead and grow. I pulled up a little bit of extra, just normal dirt there on top of the compost, and we'll see if those potatoes do anything. I've always had bad luck with anything that volunteers in my garden. It never seems to do anything, but I get suckered into leaving it all the time. But I think I'll get a few potatoes on that. And there's the new compost pile, such as it is. Okay. And I planted all of the garden that I did plant, which is a whole lot less than I've been planting. I've just been having some troubles with my fingers hurting. My finger joints hurting me. I got a little bit of osteoarthritis in my fingers, so the garden's a little bit tough on them. But here is what I have planted. Whenever I had the 10-foot tall okra, that was on down there close to the creek, but the water stands down there. So I got just one long row here. That's probably about 75 feet. And the plan is to keep it mulched real good with grass clippings or whatever I have. And then that way, from one year to the next, I really won't have to rototiller the whole thing up and have just a big bunch of grass to deal with or anything. I can just, rake the mulch off and just dig up just right exactly where the plant goes, and it'll be a whole lot better. And I just went ahead with one tomato plant. This is just an experiment. The tomatoes almost are getting into the more trouble than they're worth territory for me because of the late blight that I have. But I am just experimenting with this spun bonded polyester material here over the top of one plant. And I did plant another plant, which I'll show later, on top of my deck. And we'll see how it does versus this. And I may not plant any down here next year, but the trellis here would be good to modify a little bit and plant some beans on, however. So that's a possibility for the future. But for the time being, I just have the one plant. This is a, let's see, I don't know if you can get any scale here or not from, yeah, there's my head, and there's some scale. And yeah, I've shaved here lately, cut my hair just a little bit. But this is a Better Boy tomato. And right now, I only have, let's see here, I only have one tomato on it. I do have blooms, but a few blooms anyway. But I don't know that they're really getting pollinated all that good. We'll just have to see how it goes. And of course, I'm gonna just train all the limbs to go out on my wires here. Yeah, I don't know how good this is, whether it'll get, I kind of hate to do the self-pollinating thing. It's just aggravating. I'm trying to make things a little bit simpler, and I do have more than one tomato. There's that one I just showed you, and there's another little bitty fellow there, so maybe these will get pollinated. Seems like not all of them are. We'll see how it goes anyway. But I'm hoping that the spun bonded polyester here, number one, I'm hoping it holds up without just shredding. This is several years old, so it's a little bit brittle, and it does have, a few little holes in it. But these holes just don't seem to shred on out too bad. but we've not had a huge thunderstorm since I put this out here. It's been out here several weeks, but I don't know how this is going to do in a big thunderstorm. Okay, moving on. I cut down on the amount of peppers I planted. This this is a total of 16 peppers. I've got three cages here, and usually I go with 4 cages. But really, out of 16 plants, 15 of them just look really good. And this is my only runt plant of the bunch right there. Most of them are, you know, just really nice looking. I do have this particular plants are the hot banana, and that right there is my biggest my biggest pepper right there right now. So it's not too awful big, but nice healthy plant. So I expect to have really good amount of peppers. I planted red night sweet bell pepper and jalapeno hot pepper. I don't have the little tab on this one, but that's hot banana. And then we have golden summer sweet bell pepper. And like I say, 15 out of 16 are looking really good. And I've got just the straight neck squash here. I went ahead and left. Usually I go with 2 or 3 per hill, but it seemed like they come up, you know, distributed out pretty good here. So I'm going with 4 per hill. So I've got 4 there. So it'll be probably about 3 weeks before I have any yellow summer squash here. And so that's the straight neck, and this is a different variety, and I can't remember the name of it. I'll put a link up. Looks like it's a butter dish squash. Thought I would try something a little different. I mean, the appearance is just identical to the crookneck, so I don't know how much difference there'll be. And this is my cucumbers here. They look good and healthy. They'll be running here before long, spreading everywhere. And this is my favorite variety of cucumber, a Poinsett 76. And I've just about the only ones I've ever planted is Poinsett 76, pickling, something that just says pickling cucumber, and straight 8 cucumber. I've had pretty good luck with all of those. The pickling cucumbers come in very rapidly and go out very rapidly, and of course they're fairly small. And this extra little section here, I'm just going to plant I think I'll do it like around the middle of the month here, mid-June. I'll plant another hill of cucumbers and another hill of squash for just to have some late plants, some late summer plants. So, okay, that's pretty much it, except I am going to show you the tomato I planted up on the porch. That's pretty much it from the lower 40 garden here. Hey Carly, look at me. Oh well, yeah, there you go, you're a cutie. And here on the deck is a bush early girl tomato that I have planted. And it was fairly large when I planted it. That's why it's so much farther ahead than the other one. But as you can see, it's already got quite a few tomatoes on it, and it won't be that much longer before it will be big enough to eat and turning red and everything. So I really don't know if this will get that much bigger than what it is, because it doesn't seem like it's really grown all that much in the last 10 days or so. So since it's a bush variety of tomato and not an indeterminate, which really I wish I'd have planted an indeterminate here instead, so it would have topped out that cage. But anyway, it is what it is. I planted it in, this is compost, a pretty large bucket inside of another bucket, and I put it on some pavers here to get it up off the bottom. So I don't have any holes in this outer bucket. I just let the water, and of course there is holes in this inner bucket, and I just let the water collect down in there when it runs through. And I did that because it would have been kind of nice to put it just straight into this great big bucket, but then I would have had to put holes in it, and I wouldn't have had an even bigger bucket to put it in, and it would have just kept you know, the porch in a mess with water, muddy water running out, and would probably made the porch rot out even faster than it looks like it's going to. I need to paint. But one cool thing, it's kind of hard to water the way it is here. So what I've got, and I've had this and I don't know where it came from, it's a battery operated pump, and it really works quite well. You just you know, put your end there and you flip your switch on, and there it goes. And this is just of course it's kind of hard when you when you're doing a camera and it too at the same time, but ordinarily it's just the handiest thing in the world to do. And also you can put it down in the bottom of the exterior bucket there and soak out soak out all of the water that drains through the bucket, and soak out all the rainwater, and just sort of recycle your water back onto the plant. But yeah, let's turn it on here and you can see the little end of it turn around here. Hold on. There we go. Now one thing about this, it's very sensitive to like little wood chips and things like that. So if you're not using clear water, in other words, if you're sucking out the rainwater, which, you know, that's got all kind of chips and stuff in the bottom of it down there. So if you're doing that, you can't put your little pickup part of this down in the bottom of your bucket, or it'll just clog your impellers, and you never want your impellers clogged. So that is pretty much it from the garden front. We'll see you sometime later.